I'm Lola.
And I'm Mamuna. Together, we have a combined 35 years of experience within the tech scene in North America and Europe.
We talk about the highs, the lows, the WTFs of navigating the technology industry and answer your questions about navigating tech careers.
This is Lost in Tech.
Hello, hello, hello.
Hi, back at it.
Back for another IRL episode.
Yes. What should we talk about?
I mean, we know what we're going to talk about.
I know.
We're doing it.
So let's talk about reorgs.
Reorgs. Who hasn't been through like a million of these? Maybe if you're an intern or you're in your first year. I'm even going to say like probably within a year of joining
Even
a job.
interns, unfortunately.
You're probably going to see a reorg of some description, especially again in this time there seems to be a habit.
I was just thinking back and I was reflecting on pre-COVID.
Yeah.
How many reorgs I notably went through.
Yeah.
And it feels like since like 2021, reorgs have just been commonplace culturally.
It's interesting. I'm trying to think in my career as well, because I think there are two versions of reorgs that I've experienced. Version one is the kind of old school model where like it's fairly big because it changes job titles, job classifications.
Yeah.
There's like a bunch of like admin associated with the reorg. And I've probably been through a handful of those that are very big.
Yeah.
And then there's the second category of like constant scope
shifts
and accountability alignment, where I've been through a couple of those where they tried their best to not do the big reorg because it's so much more complicated.
Yeah.
But then probably end up in a worse place.
Yeah.
And then the ones where you just feel like it doesn't matter what we're doing right now because in about 3 months they're going to change it anyway.
Yeah.
And so it's also a pointless exercise. And I'm not really sure. I don't know. Have you been through a good reorg where you came out the other side of it and you were like, yes, we are ready. We're set up now.
I'm going to say no.
That's a problem.
I'm going to say no. And I think maybe once I may have gone through one where I had that, and then pretty quickly after came another one.
Yeah.
And I became disillusioned because I was like, oh,
yeah.
But what about the one we just did? And all the things that were promised in a direction and strategy and rollouts and changes. And now there's another set.
Yeah. Yeah.
When's the next one?
Yeah.
And so it was no longer.
Because I think the one thing every reorg I've ever been in doesn't deal well with is change.
Yes.
And like back in the day, the big four, the big consultings, like they used to literally consult with companies on change management and they'd have people and be like, this is what you need to do here. And it was a very expensive, important exercise, but it happened rarely.
Yes.
Now that it happens so often,
let's see.
Companies no longer ask for help and they think they know what they're doing. But the thing that they underestimate every single time is a change curve. Like people don't do well in change scenarios, and you have to do a lot to kind of accelerate the forming, norming, storming. Right? And you can't, if you under design the space for that work, you will pay. And the way they pay is usually 6 months later, you got to do another one.
Exactly. And, it is so interesting because it is the same thing over and over.
It is.
And it is just like this, if we paused and gave it the time, we would see the dividends. But it is this like, okay, we're changing this, let's go.
Yeah.
And that's not real.
So I guess in your experience then, what are the valid reasons for a reorg? Like when do you know, okay, you know what? We've got to change stuff.
Yeah. I think it's just depending on the size of the reorg. I'd probably say there's like a competitive or market shift of sorts where maybe new technology, AI has entered the space and you as a company are behind.
Yeah.
And you realize that like, hey, we need to do something to remain competitive and alive.
Yeah.
maybe Xerox should have reorged differently.
A few times.
I would probably say that's like one of the larger drivers, right?
Yeah, I'm not
right,
sure.
Like money.
Money for sure. Like,
yeah.
I think a very obvious reason for a reorg that I can think of is you literally can't afford the staff that you have.
Yeah.
Right? So you've got to change the shape of the business because you've got to bring down your people costs. And then that's linked to all the other things that we know are painful, like you're doing redundancies, you're having to have these difficult conversations, you're cutting scope.
Yep.
And again, we know that that's not being managed well.
Yeah.
But outside of that, I'm not sure I would say a reorg is needed for innovation. But I feel like sometimes reorgs have been triggered by like recognizing that the company's stuck in a spin.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
And you're going round and round in the same spot. And so what you're trying to do is you're trying to catalyze forward momentum again. You want to be more like, okay, we're not trying to stand still.
Shake it up.
We've got to shake it up. But in every version of a reorg that I have maybe understood that might be the ambition, you also end up with these weird scenarios where because you only trust 2 or 3 people, you put someone you trust in a position of leadership as opposed to somebody who's actually highly competent and capable of being in that position of leadership in the company at that time. And that...
Say a lot for the people in the back.
I mean, like, so, okay, this is going to be a bit ranty. It's our podcast, so I can rant if I want to.
You can rant.
Right? Okay.
You can rant.
So how many times have I been in a reorg scenario and I'm watching a less capable person be put in a position of significant leadership because they are willing to yes, sir, let's be real, it's not even a yes, ma'am. They're willing to yes, sir, the person who is trying to control all of the outcomes. And what ends up happening is that this reorg reflects only half of what that leader is trying to achieve.
Yeah.
Because even if you can stand behind them and be like, okay, we need to go after this new vision that I've set, and I'm like, I am down for that vision. Their challenges of I can't control that person, or I don't know that person, or I'm not willing to expand my circle of trust right now, that those human fear instincts then lead them to appoint
people were like
lieutenants who they've already cowed, they've already shaped, they've already molded all of the edges out of these people. You put those lieutenants in place, and the workforce underneath them that you're trying to make these people feel more inspired. You're trying to get them to do new things.
Right.
You're trying to get them to like climb Mount Everest in a challenging environment.
Right.
They look at the person who's leading them and they're like, this mumu. Right? Like, I have to listen to this person.
What experience do they have?
How are they set up to lead me in this moment? And you go and you're like, okay, do you know what? There's something I don't know.
And that trickles down.
Dude, I have been the leader underneath the new questionably competent leader. In that seat myself where I'm like, I don't buy this, but I have to sell it because I have to sell it to my team.
Yep.
And I'm really not sure, but how am I going to mobilize? And then my mind is, I set myself to like, okay, well, if I just ignore that, what is happening above? There. What am I trying to hit here? What's that person trying to do? Can I align me and my team to that?
Yeah.
And then we're just going to hope that this doesn't get in the way. It always gets in the way.
It always does.
But you try, right?
Yeah.
You try and provide a message. Or like, I remember in one situation in one job, having a team meeting with my team and being like, we got this people, we can do this. Like, you know, we have this broader goal. We're going to make it happen. And they're asking me questions and they're like, what's this new person going to be like? And I'll be like, I think you should trust them. You should let them, you know, they're going to provide clarity, blah, blah, blah. Next day, go on a town hall with this person. It's like they just tore up everything. And I'm sat there in my house on the call and I'm just like,
yeah.
And I literally have people pinging me being like, this isn't going well. And I tried, man. I tried, you know.
Yeah, reorgs are hard, especially if it is constant. They're constant. And then also the people who may not feel competent or a good fit for the role, right?
Yeah.
maybe let's think about for individuals who are in these organizations who are going through the reorg after reorg after reorg. What can they do?
Honestly, it goes back to the advice you're always given. You got to read the room.
Yeah.
What is this reorg happening for?
Yeah.
And if it is your fourth or fifth one, you need to know there's something going on that isn't great here.
Yeah.
And, your job may not be, your loyalty, they're not loyal to you in the same way you're loyal to them.
Right.
So your job may not be secure.
Yeah.
Also, your senior manager person that you think has got your back, if they ain't got a job, you ain't got a job.
Yes.
Right? So you go back to this scenario of always being aware yourself for yourself. Yeah. That doesn't mean not having empathy or connection or caring about the business outcomes, but you are always being like, I got to be smart here about what is going on.
Yeah.
And you got to prep for the worst. And the worst might be that you are about to go in the next layoff, or that you are about to be managed out by being put in a situation you can't thrive in.
Yeah.
But if you were already looking at what is happening in the business and you understood that the money wasn't coming in, or that the stagnation was kicking in, or you smelt and you saw what was going on because you're paying attention.
Pay attention.
You already have an exit plan that you started working on.
Yeah, and that goes back to some advice we often give, which is like always stay on, right? Like you are always having conversations, always keeping your network warm. Yeah.
Be nice to recruiters.
Be nice, yes.
When you need them.
Yes.
They'll remember that you were a bit of a...
Yes, they will.
Yeah.
And then I think that it's in the same way, your loyalty is to self. Like it's not your company.
Yeah.
It's not your dad's company, right? And so you are there for a purpose. You're there to gain certain skills. Like keep that in mind and make sure that when you leave there, as best you can, you leave with what you intended to leave with, right?
Yeah. But also you've made your contribution.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Yeah, this isn't like you're not, they're not paying you for self-discovery.
Correct.
They have been using your skills.
Yes.
And you have been doing your work and contributing value the whole time.
Yes.
So it's a net.
Yes.
That you're not taking nothing away from them. They're not necessarily losing much by leaving them.
Right.
You're just leaving at a time that makes sense for both parties. Yeah.
Yeah. But I think what we're saying is that if your company is going through many reorgs and you feel unsettled by this, listen to your feelings.
Yeah. I tell you one version of a reorg that I would also say, like, if people find themselves in a situation where this is happening, you need to probably accelerate your thinking. Is like, if you are being placed in a position of leadership of a scope that you are not credibly set up to succeed in. And I think that wisdom is so important, because it feels nice to be the favored execution person on behalf of a leader and feel like they can put you on anything and you will just sort it out and you will do whatever. And if you are in that position and you're going to take this role, then be honest AF with the people you are now leading about recognizing the difference between you and them and inviting the right people in to help you. Do not try and put a plaster on this and be like, la, 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 we're going to be so great together. Everything's happy because you look like a mug. Or say no, right? Say no and maybe suggest an alternative that actually thinks about that outcome. And maybe, if the leader trusts you in the way that they claim to, they should listen to your recommendations about the better way to do this. But I would say, if you are in that position, be wise enough to be able to see with clarity so that you're not setting yourself up for burnout and a fall and being made to feel less capable because you were asked to do something you were never set up to succeed in. And then you didn't even have the wisdom to know that or to ask for the right tools or support to try and succeed. Yeah. Just always be wise, And
if you don't know how to do that, get a coach. They're very helpful. But I think also part of that self-awareness is identifying and knowing your own gaps. Where are you strong? Where maybe are you weaker? And then leveraging your team.
Yes.
For those gaps, right? Yeah. I try to be very open and honest with my team members to say, hey, you're really good at this. Yeah. I'm not so great at this. Either I want to learn from you or, hey, why don't you come into this and work with me on this thing, right?
Yeah, 100%. And even accept that, you know, we're going to have this weakness for a while.
Yeah. We're going to work through it together.
We're going to work through it together. We know this gap exists, but I can see it. I know you guys can see it. I'm going to come back with a plan, and we're going to share a plan about how to see this.
And I think that's a huge trust building opportunity for any leader, right? To just name the thing.
My gosh.
Name the thing.
But that I feel like, and I know we're going to wrap this conversation up, but I do feel like for every reorg that I have been in and I've looked at it fail, and I think back and I'm like, what would have been different? What would have been better? And I think there's a real tendency to overstate the benefits of a reorg and a hesitation or a fear to acknowledge the challenges and the reality that is going to be faced.
Yeah.
And every time those realities are understood and an action plan is put in place, because sometimes people will name it and then do nothing about it.
Yeah.
But every time you name those things and you put a plan in place, you set people up to thrive.
Yes.
When you are just like, this is going to be the best thing, we're going to be fine. And it's that picture of like you were standing in the room and it's on fire and everyone's looking at you like, am I in the same reality as this person?
Right.
Like that dissonance is the biggest risk to like any change. And I reckon a lot of people could do with honesty about the hard stuff.
Yeah.
And the higher you go up in leadership, it's almost like they really feel like they need to protect everyone all the time from that honesty. And I don't know that that's a good thing in perpetuity.
It's not.
Yeah.
Because people have eyes.
And ears.
And ears.
And they skills.
Yes.
And they also read online.
They will see it, and they'll see through whatever facade you put up.
100%.
So be honest.
Be honest. And good luck with those reorgs. We'll talk about, I think maybe we'll do another episode on the trend towards flatness. Or did we already do
we did that.
The Great Flattening?
Yeah, we did that a while ago, I think.
See, we need to
loop
bring that one back in, right? Because that's all the reorgs right now are flatter.
Yeah, and I bet you it's going to cycle back in some way.
Oh, 100%, because we know incompetent management is everywhere.
Yeah.
So
it's inevitable.
Right, good luck with the reorg. We've made this show for you, and we want to hear your stories. We have our combined 35 years experience in tech. We have an incredible bank of experts to call on. We are your safe space. So send us your tech challenges and we'll help you create some draft decisions through some real talk.
You've been listening to me, Mamuna and Oladipo.
And me, Oyelayo-Pearson.
Edited and produced by me, Michael Blissa, with theme music by 031 Mash.
Email us at help@lostintechpodcast.com or DM us at lostintechpod.